guys don't respect it already, but certainly there are a lot of professionals out there who do not respect skill, then it is much easier for you to engage with your counterparts, the structural engineers, the masons, the builders, the electricians, the carpenters, because you respect their craft. Now you're not seeing them as inferior. You want to learn from those crafts, which immediately brings you into a closer relationship with them. And you become curious and interested in material culture in general. I believe that is something that we as teachers need to teach our students to begin to appreciate, so that when they do enter into a dialogue during the construction process with all those material cultural producers, the dialogue is not a dialogue from the designer who came up with a cerebral form and is imposing it upon a linear matter, but the dialogue of a team in which all together we're going to try to tease out a form from materials that are both non-linear and non-equilibrium.
And there's probably a knowledge of in those artisans as well, right? A knowledge of, not just a knowledge how, a philosophy of materials.
That's true, but remember that the first book on metallurgy came out in the 14th century, and in other words, whereas Aristotle was already publishing books about knowing that in 2,500 years ago, we had to wait for the first book on metallurgy to be published in the 1300s, right? In other words, yes, they do also engage in verbal behavior, but that is not the most important thing for them, right? Because they pass their knowledge by example, by actually acting and intervening. And then the disciples learning by practicing. Right? Nevertheless, you're absolutely right. Today, material science and engineering is a discipline which consists of both experimental interventions in causal interventions in phenomena, and writing equations, creating mathematical models, writing texts, explanatory texts about causes and effects. And so it's a much more integrated symbolic and material culture than it used to be.
Have time just for one more question. Yeah.